The objective for today is I can solve a word problem by drawing a picture or using a number bond. So let's start with some examples. This first one says Aubrey had 15 cookies. Graham had 7 fewer cookies than Aubrey. How many cookies does Graham have? So the first thing I notice about this problem is both numbers are less than 20. That means this might be a good problem to draw a picture for. So let's go back and read sentence by sentence and see if we can draw a picture to solve this problem. My first sentence says Aubrey had 15 cookies. So let's go ahead and draw Aubrey's cookies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And if I were drawing this on paper, what I would probably do is I would just draw a circle for each cookie. Notice how I like to line them up into a 10 frame? That helps me stay organized, and it's easier for me to count them because I can count them as groups of 5. 5, 10, 15. Now my next sentence says Graham had 7 fewer cookies than Aubrey. I know that word fewer means he had less. So I'm going to take away 7 cookies from what Aubrey had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I started with Aubrey's 15. Graham had 7 fewer or less, so I took away those 7. So now what I'm left with is what Graham has. And my question says, how many cookies does Graham have? So if we count these, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the problem I solved was 15, my total that Aubrey had, minus 7, because Graham had 7 fewer cookies. So my number sentence is 15 minus 7, and I just counted to find that that answer is 8. So remember, even when you draw a picture for your problem, I still need to see the number sentence. Let's try another one. This one says Eric wrote a paragraph that had 105 words in it. Henry's paragraph had 25 fewer words. How many words did Henry's paragraph have? So again, for this, it helps me to visualize this. So I'm kind of going to draw a picture, but I'm not going to draw 105 words. Instead, I'm just going to use this as a visualization to help me understand how to set up my problem. So my first sentence says, Eric wrote a paragraph that had 105 words in it. So I'm going to pretend like I'm writing Eric's paragraph, and here are his 105 words for his paragraph. Now my next sentence says, Henry's paragraph had 25 fewer words. So here is Eric's 105 words, but Henry wrote fewer words or less words. So I'm going to cross out some of these. Now I'm not actually counting, but what I'm doing is I'm giving myself a visualization. I know I started with 105 and I have to take away 25 of them. And that helps me determine that this is going to be a subtraction problem. So I'm going to set up the problem of 105 minus 25. Now I'm ready to solve this, and I'm just going to use the algorithm. So let's start in our ones. For our ones, we're going to subtract 5 minus 5. 5 minus 5 equals 0. Next, let's go to our tens. We have 0 minus 2. More on the floor. Go next door. So we need to borrow from our hundreds. So we're going to take away one of these hundreds. We're going to be left with 0. And we're going to put in 10 tens. So now I have 10 minus 2. 10 minus 2 equals 8. And then finally, looking at my hundreds, I have 0 minus 0, which is just 0. So how many words did Henry's paragraph had? Henry's paragraph had 80 words. For this last one, I want you to try this, and then you can come back in and check to see if you got your answer right. So you'll notice that these have really big numbers. I have 464 and 282. So this is a great one to do as a number bond. So I have this set up for you. See if you can figure out where your whole would be and where your parts would be. And then set up your number sentence and find your answer. And then come back and check. Let's start by reading our problem. It says Holland has $464. Her sister has $282 less. How much money does Holland's sister have? So first I need to think about, well, what number would be my whole? Well, my whole would be 464 because that's the total amount that I know. So my next part is her sister has $282 less. So I know that's going to be one of my parts because that isn't my whole. So it has to be one of my parts. So the next part says, how much money does Holland's sister have? So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for one of my parts. I know that when I'm missing a part, I have to set up a subtraction problem. So my subtraction problem is going to be 464 minus 282. Let's start in our ones. Let's subtract 4 minus 2. 4 minus 2 equals 2. Next, let's move into our tens. I have 6 minus 8. I cannot do 6 minus 8. So I have to go next door. I'm going to borrow one of these hundreds. So instead of having 4 hundreds, I'm only going to have 3. And I'm going to move that 100 into my tens place. So now I have 16 minus 8. That's one of our doubles facts. That is 8. Finally, let's subtract our hundreds. I have 3 hundreds minus 2 hundreds, which is 100. So for my question, how much money does Holland's sister have? Holland's sister has $182. Your independent practice for today is to try 2 more word problems. So for each of these, you can decide, do you want to draw a picture? Do you want to do a number bond? Or maybe you only write the number sentence. That would be okay too. I just have to make sure that you have at least the number sentence and the answer, even if you draw the picture. When you finish, please turn it in.